Harry's eyes were glazed over. He looked like he was partying too much. Um, Back then I was thinking she might be doing this for collateral type reasons. I mean,
Well,
I agree with you on that, but it's like it's such a sinister plot. And it's so she definitely isn't doing it by herself.
well, today is going to be a very good day because I've got the Sidley twins in the house of Twin Talks. Nancy, Stephanie, hello. So great to have you back on Outspoken. And actually, I've got some good news to start with for once. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, has made it into the Time 100, the Philanthropy Award list. And guess who hasn't, girls? Were you expecting this?
Yes, we were, because it's not something you can buy. They actually have to be a little more thorough with their figures when it comes to philanthropy. The influencer stuff, yeah, Meghan and Harry were able to buy it when they first moved to the States. I mean, it wasn't like Meghan even made the 100 this year. She
No.
bought a panel. Yeah, she was on the panel.
So
She
why
dragged
go
Harry.
if you know that you're not going to make the list? But not only you're not going to make the list, your arch rival, the woman who you hate more than anyone else in the world, who the rest of us love, is there. It's just too good.
Oh, it was so great. And she showed up all wrinkled with her pantsuit, not tailored. And, she definitely she brought Harry, but she definitely wanted to sit in that chair by herself
Oh, yeah.
and be like, I'm in charge. Watch this. Yeah. And nobody cared. Well, it was great. I mean, she brought up the flower sprinkles and how they're magic. And, it's content for days, Dan.
Yeah.
We're
The problem is, right,
Yeah.
to make it into the Time 100 philanthropy list, you actually have to do something other than raise funds for yourself. So let's just go through it. We'll go through the details. So the Royal News Network posted, Prince and Princess of Wales have been named to the Times 100 Philanthropy Award for 2025 for modernising royal philanthropy. And this is interesting, actually, because the official Times article reads, philanthropy is hardly a new calling for British royalty. King George II, in the first recorded act of royal patronage, helped establish an antiquarian society focused on art and architectural conservation in the 18th century. The modern royal agenda, though, suggests priorities have shifted. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are less concerned with cultural preservation and more attuned to social issues, tackling homelessness and rural mental health through their Royal Foundation, and spotlighting innovative solutions to climate change through the Earthshot Prize, an environmental award founded by William in 2020. It's more about impact philanthropy, collaboration, convening, and helping people, the Prince told the BBC in November. Crucial to the Wales's approach is aligning social imperatives with sound business strategies and building corporate alliances to expand their reach. To support her Shaping Us campaign, which champions wellbeing initiatives for children 5 and younger, Catherine convened a business task force that included the Lego Group, and to assess impact, consulting firm Deloitte. Last spring, the group published a report that concluded investing in early childhood programs could yield an additional £46.5 billion for the UK economy annually. The findings spurred task force members to commit millions towards these initiatives. So not only, and by the way, can we just look at William and Catherine at the palace last night? Because didn't they just look absolutely sensational and in love and healthy and like superstars, right? It's almost like we're looking at Jackie O and JFK back in the day, and they posted this incredible video, actually, which we'll watch as we chat along, which also showed this event. But I think what's so important, guys, about the Times notation is that it shows this isn't just talk from William and Catherine. It's not just the 1 hour of work a week, which we know the Sussexes do for Archewell. Like, this is a serious business. And when I was reading what Time wrote about William and Catherine, I thought, my God, that's what you should have been able to say about Harry and Meghan when they moved to the United States. And instead, it's been a total embarrassment. So I just don't think there's any other way to look at this, is there, other than William and Catherine have owned Harry and Meghan in their own backyard.
Yes. Yes. I mean, the word modernize is probably really eating at Meghan at this point because she thought that it was going to be the same old with the royal family, and that no one was going to try and bring in, social media. Now we see that Instagram is very big for the Prince and the Princess of Wales. I mean, they're putting up pictures, they're sharing videos more so than they did when Harry and Meghan were Sussex Royal. It was kind of like that competition going on when Harry and Meghan were still part of the royal family. But now it's just taken off, and they're rock stars. I mean, take it from two Americans who live on the West Coast. They're complete rock stars over here.
They're dragons.
Yeah, they're
That's what I
dragons.
call them.
Yeah, I mean, they look fantastic, and I loved how the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh were behind them. They were sort of matching with them, and the whole family was unified. It was just a really
Totally.
beautiful day
It's like
yesterday,
this is
and
what the royal family's meant to be about, right? And the crazy thing is that Harry and Meghan did actually have that terrible moment when William and Catherine were off the stage for enforced reasons because of her cancer battle and the fact that William, I mean, he did a lot of work. I think people forget he still did a lot of work, but he was also effectively the main caregiver to their children for a period as well, while Catherine was in the intense period of treatment. And it's like they left the stage and Harry and Meghan still blew it, So it actually doesn't matter that they're just unable to achieve. And then we have this stark contrast. And Nancy, I saw your post about this. Could Meghan be dragging Harry to these concerts to get pics of him looking allegedly out of it? But I have to be honest with you, Nancy. I've thought the same thing. I mean, when I saw this Dumois Instagram picture, I was like, oh my God. He does not look well. He looks wired. He didn't even look good in the edited pictures that Meghan posted. And
nope.
it linked up to something that Alex Phillips, the political commentator, told me here on Outspoken last week, which is that she had heard, and it was very well-sourced information, that Meghan had actually pushed Harry to include all of the details about his drug taking in Spare. So anyway, Nancy, let me start with you. What is going on with these pictures of Harry? Because also there's the doorbell picture too. It's just painting such a bad image.
As someone who got into that keeping up with the Kardashians trap, I saw it happen when Kim was ready to divorce Kanye. She was setting him up in certain scenes of Kardashians to make him look like the person who was losing his mind and stuff. So I see a pattern repeating itself. Harry does not look normal in those pictures. This isn't even allegedly. This does not look like someone who just went to I've been to a James Taylor concert.
Me too.
And that's not how you experience a James Taylor concert. Also, this picture looks like a setup to me because she's not as in focused as he is. It looks like this was planted. Like she wanted this picture taken and then she wanted this picture out there because all of a sudden, 3 days later, it shows up on Instagram just out of the blue. Taken by who? Who was it taken by?
Well, we also have to remember that during the Amber Heard trial, there were a lot of photos that she would share of Johnny out of it, per se, So it's like, is she building collateral? Does she know that she's going to eventually have to go through a custody case? Does she know she's going to have to eventually separate from this man?
She feels in her brain that she's going to have to plead her case to Hollywood, to America. Like, guys, I did everything I could. He was a nightmare. Did you read Spare? Did you read his drug use?
Do you see his face at these concerts?
Yeah, like what did you want me to do? I was trying to protect our children the whole time.
Amber Heard went as far as showing a picture of Johnny Depp passed out in a hotel room. Now, we don't know the context behind that. We also saw her show video of him slamming kitchen cupboards. We still don't know the context behind that. Meghan could be collecting all these videos, pictures, surrounding him with actual people like James Taylor, Beyonce, the industry. And then maybe, I don't know, they could testify pro Meghan and say, you know what? We did see him and we did see Meghan and he was out of it.
I mean, he looks ridiculous in that Kimosabi hat that he was wearing.
Oh, at the Beyonce concert.
God, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dastardly plot. It is a dastardly plot, and it feels very impossible to deny that now. I mean, remember, I had been reporting for years that Meghan was making divorce plans, and it included touting around the commercial aspects of that. But I felt totally vindicated when Vanity Fair backed up that reporting. And it was very, very solid, you know, in terms of the fact that there absolutely is a concept for a post-divorce book. Now, the problem is, if Harry has read that and not realized, it's like, God, you're more stupid than I even ever thought. But maybe it's that you're more drug-addled than I ever even thought. And of course, I know some of these drugs in California is illegal. Like I do, is illegal. I do understand that. It's not legal in the United Kingdom, but it is legal in California. So I'm not saying that all of this is illegal, but of course he has admitted to lots of illegal drug use in the past. But there's another part of Spare, and it was really overlooked at the time, but not by me. It really haunted me in terms of knowing what Meghan's plan was. And it was the part of the book where Harry admits, like he's completely cucked, that there was a moment when he was rude to Meghan in some way. And he recounts the fight between the two of them. And she says, "You never speak to me like that or it's over." And it's like, again, are you getting him to incriminate himself?
We definitely, listen, I agree with you, Dan. I saw it with the Halloween pictures before they were married. I remember Meghan and Marcus Anderson, her BFF from the Soho house, they were taking pictures of him and Eugenie, I believe,
her husband or her fiance at the time.
These pictures I saw, Harry's eyes were glazed over. He looked like he was partying too much. Back then I was thinking she might be doing this for collateral type reasons. I mean, I agree with you on that, but it's like, it's such a sinister plot. And it's so, she definitely isn't doing it by herself if she is.
She's got receipts. I mean, we saw in the Netflix documentary of them, and we saw on her weird mood board or whatever that was the other day. That she does.
I call it a dartboard.
A dartboard, yeah.
Okay, can we talk about this, please?
Yes. She does take a lot of pictures. I mean, the girl has receipts, and she's proving it right there. There's receipts.
And Dan, who's the photographer taking those sunset pictures of them kissing? I mean, when I walk around with my boyfriend, I don't have a guy just come out of the bush and go, "Okay, take this now."
Yeah.
It's like these perfect pictures.
Is that an option? I mean, can you hire people to do that? Because I'd love to do that. I mean, look at how perfect those shots are.
Stephanie, though, you have been onto this, though, because there is specific manipulation in some of these pictures, and I want to show the one that you actually found out about specifically. I mean, there's a couple, but this one, it's so obvious when you see it. You wrote, "It looks like Harry's head was pasted on another body. His head and neck are twice the size of that arm, in my opinion, ... Yeah. But I mean, when you see it, so many of these photos on the mood board are clearly manipulated. But first, we've partnered with Gundry MD to share this information with you. Would you believe me if I told you inside your pantry right now is one of the healthiest foods on the planet? Yep, it's true. Not some weird, trendy superfood. Spoiler alert, it's olive oil. You're probably used to cooking with it, but there are countless ways to use olive oil to help yourself look and feel younger. For example, olive oil is a natural way to help you achieve a more youthful appearance. Besides helping you look younger on the outside, it's a fantastic tool for your insides as well. According to Dr. Stephen Gundry, a famous cardiothoracic surgeon, nutrition expert, and health advocate, You should get as much high quality olive oil into your daily routine as possible, whether it's taking a shot of it daily or keeping a bottle of it in your bathroom medicine cabinet. But what kind of olive oil is best for your health? Well, any olive oil can give you some benefits, but if you're looking to get the best results, it matters a lot which one you pick. The olive oil industry is huge. You can tell by the number of olive oil brands you see at the grocery store, and you can bet they're not all made with the consumer in mind. And many brands may even cut corners one way or another to increase profits. When Dr. Gundry came to this realization, he was appalled. But some olive oils are so powerful, it may only take a few tablespoons a week to see these incredible health benefits. So, how can you tell between an olive oil that can be a health booster and which one isn't up to par? In an effort to answer that important question, Dr. Gundry has decided to take a stand and release his personal research and findings. The video has gone viral since its release, and it's important you see it so you can start benefiting immediately. You can watch the video right now by going to getolive1.com/outspoken or by clicking the link in the description box below. So that's getolive1.com/outspoken, or just click on the link in the description box below. People who have taken his advice have shared their results with him, saying the olive oil they bought after learning his simple rules has helped change their lives. So make sure you go to getolive1.com/outspoken or click on the link in the description box below this video. But now, back to the show.
There is absolutely no way that is Harry's body, in my opinion. The arm, why is his neck bulging out like that? I mean, it looks like it was pasted on. And I don't know if Meghan's head was also pasted on. It very well could be. But that picture stood out the most to me. There's and I've seen that pose of him before. I've seen that.
Or the head.
I've seen that head. Sorry, not that pose. Sorry, that head before. So
I think it was Marcus
and there was
Anderson's
also the
body.
picture of where it looks as if Meghan and Harry are rubbing noses, and they have very clearly taken the pictures from New Zealand where there was the Māori hongi, and she's even got the same earrings. And it's like, oh my God, she thinks because it's so low res that we're not going to be able to see what she's doing. But actually, sometimes the fact that the images are low res make it easier. So I know you guys are so good on this because your dad is obviously a bit of an expert, but I asked one of my producers who knows a lot about image manipulation. And let me show you the two versions of the moon bump image. So what we've just done is we've marked it up in white. So he says that that is like where there is a real stomach line. And if we go to the next one, you can see that all of that is so blurry. And again, I'm not an expert in this, but he is. And he says it's so clearly a manipulated image.
She wanted us to pick apart this board. That's what she wants.
That particular picture.
Yeah.
My dad looked at it as well, and he just started laughing. Yeah. So we could read right through that. But
it was a dimly lit room.
Dimly lit room, and it was blurry. And she posted it up there because she wanted all of us to zoom in on it. She wants Nancy has a great theory of when if she does like another tell-all book, or if she does another tell-all Netflix series, she's going to take our content like this, and she's going to go, see, they're making fun of the kids again, or they're making fun of my pregnancy again. Like, she'll take things like us that are little, you know what I mean? She wants us. She's baiting us right now to talk about those pictures.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah. Of course it's coming. Of course it's coming. She is absolutely, I know this. She is absolutely going to try and turn this into, oh, I'm being trolled again. I'm being trolled.
Yes,
but it's like, no, you're not. We're simply asking for evidence, in the same way that Donald Trump once asked Barack Obama for evidence. And in the end, Obama provided that evidence. We need to see the evidence. And look, put it this way, I don't think the evidence is coming because I think we're right on it. But she knows, doesn't she? She knows how much it's being talked about because she's always responding, and she's weirdly using her awful podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, to respond. And this week there was clearly a moment that she wanted to be picked up when she was talking about her pregnancies. Listen to this.
Something about, I will say for myself, like, especially when they're babies. And yes, the crying, before I was a mom, and I've always wanted to be a mom. Before I was a mom, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to give a speech with a baby on my hip. I had a whole vision. I was like, I'm just going to, and then you fast forward, granted, I had a lot of external things happening by the time I had both pregnancies and both babies, but it was not the way I envisioned it.
Oh, yeah. So she just coincidentally happened to drop that in to the podcast that was coincidentally released one day after the mood board. It's like, we know.
And did you notice how she blames people cryptically in that? She goes, I was going to have the baby, but because of external circumstances, I couldn't.
It's never her fault.
It's never her fault.
No.
It's not like she did this. It's not like she did the Oprah interview. It's not like she called the royal family racist. She didn't do any of that.
Nothing.
It was because of external circumstances, whatever that means, Meghan.
Yeah,
come on.
She's definitely trying to push this thing, but you know what? The burden of proof is on her at this point. I think we need to stop saying allegedly and just make her come out and do it like Barack Obama did have to do it. Like, I'm sure I would just love to see some proof, and I want to be proven wrong. Prove me wrong, Meghan. Show us.
Of course, because of the reality is these two children at the moment are in the line of succession, and there would have to be a change in the Act of Parliament to remove them from that. And so, of course, it is easier for everyone if she told the truth. But the problem is it just doesn't feel like she is. There was one other thing about the mood board, by the way, that the Royal Grift picked up. And they wrote, I'm surprised no one is talking about Meghan's dig to her husband and his family on her 7th All About Me anniversary. Meghan has subtly took away Harry's family association by purposefully putting up a blank crest for Harry's coat of arms and removed the Spencer's scallop and collar, essentially stripped Harry of his identity. Of course, Meghan's choking, squawking chicken and poisonous quills are completed. Meghan Markle is a vile demon. Had you guys picked up on that? Because I hadn't, to be honest.
I love the royal grift. My hat is off to her. No, I did not pick that up. I mean, that is sick. That's sick.
True, yeah.
Well, it is. She
I know,
did. You
I
just
know.
saw the picture.
No, I know.
That's sick. I mean, this woman is disturbed and unhinged.
Delusional.
Maybe, Dan, she's doing this because this is where the money is going to lead to eventually. Maybe being the villain at this point is going to be more lucrative for her. She can't make jam. She can't make a lifestyle. Nobody cares about that. Look, it's a bust. She can't do podcasts. Nobody cares about that. Maybe this is her future, is just being the villain of the UK.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe there's money in that.
I see just so many distractions with this. It's like we're talking about this. We're talking about the James Taylor concert. We're talking about mood boards. We're not talking about African parks. We're not talking about, Harry and Harry talking to the BBC and saying, my dad doesn't have much time.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that because she's distracting us so much. Now, for the three of us, we can see right through her distractions, but she's still dangling that carrot to the Sussex squad and all those other people that are going to listen,
But she's lost a lot of her Sussex.
She actually has.
Yeah,
she has. We checked.
Yeah.
Do you know
They're turning
what,
on
though?
her. Man.
You're completely right to raise this. So I've described it, and I know it's what she's doing, because this is a thing. Like, when I was on with Megyn Kelly the other day, Meghan made the point, look, the thing is, no matter how much we like to think that Meghan Markle might be stupid, she's not. She is crafty. She is intelligent. She does know what she's doing. Not to launch a business or to produce product or entertainment content that we want to watch, but in terms of media manipulation, because she's been doing it for years as a very low-profile celebrity who knew that she had to get publicity in order to find her man and do the Soho House thing, all of that. So I've described what she's been doing over the past couple of weeks, and you're completely right. It is all down to the double whammy of the Prince Harry interview and the doorbell picture. She has been so determined to move on the conversation. So it's the flood the zone strategy. It is to distract on a daily basis. Yeah, that means throwing her husband under the bus. Yeah, that means posting all of these manipulated images. But you're completely right. That's what she wants, because the disaster of the last month, the disaster since you guys were last here, although I've obviously been watching your coverage of it on Twin Talks, but the disaster has been that BBC interview, which has completely blown up any chance of ever reuniting with his father. I mean, it was already gone, by the way, for Catherine and William, but now it's pretty much gone for Charles as well. And then the doorbell picture, which suggested he was walking up and down the streets of London on his own looking for God knows what. So I think that is the Meghan strategy. It is the flood the zone strategy, and to an extent, it has been effective.
Absolutely.
And Africa Parks, which is like the biggest scandal of his life.
Yeah, it like I said, for us, we could see right through it, but for the world, it is a distraction because, and you're right, Dan, she isn't that stupid. She really does play chess every single day. And it eventually is going to catch up with her, because there's too many of us out there, like watching it and reading about it and actually knowing the facts.
Well, the bottom line is, if she was a successful person, if she had any sort of following in the United States, she'd be restocked by now with her as ever. She hasn't even restocked. So she's trying to also distract us from the fact that she hasn't restocked that line yet. And then this thing with Harry, when he said that it was his dad's fault he doesn't have security. Well, if my dad just would let the authorities do what they need to do and not butt in, that was, I'm sure it was terrible over at the UK, but this really penetrated America. I mean, Americans were disgusted by this.
Oh, it was
when
nuts.
they saw this.
And also, I think most people don't realize that Charles did personally pay the security for a long period of time, to the tune of probably up to £5 million. And it was only once that Harry and Meghan were up on their feet and had their deals that he thought, well, I can't keep on funding this. I wanted to play you actually a moment from the Sun's royal show this week, featuring their legendary royal photographer Arthur Edwards, which touched on all of what we've been discussing. I'll get your reaction off the bat.
His actions have worsened his alienation from his family and questioned his own claims he's forgiven Charles and the family over Megxit, saying it is clearly a qualified forgiveness. What do we think of these words from Canon Angela Tilby? Do they hit the nail on the head?
Well, I don't think the royals have got to apologise to Harry, quite honestly. I mean, Harry, they gave him their blessing when he went off to the United States. They said, that's what you want to do, Harry, fine. I mean, the Duke of Windsor, when he was exiled, he went off to live in the Bahamas, but he never, ever, ever said a bad word about the royal family. And Harry spent the first year of his life there just rubbishing the royal family. And I think he should be asking them for forgiveness, not demanding forgiveness from them. I think they did everything for him. I mean, the king walked his bride down the aisle. They gave him a wonderful wedding. They gave him a beautiful home at Frogmore House. They spent £2 million renovating it. He didn't want any of that. He went off to America and he made millions and millions of dollars just trashing the royals. And I think he should be on his knees to the king, ask for forgiveness.
Samara, sorry. Role of victimhood, is that something that Harry needs to shed?
Well, victimhood is a very California type of term that doesn't really exist in the royal family. And I think a lot of what's behind his rhetoric is Meghan. And a lot of people have been saying that and seeing that increasingly after he moved to Montecito. I mean, that whole BBC interview, which just made him look like a pompous brat, to be honest, and very, very entitled, really made a lot of people question who is in his head. Who is behind this? And so many of the woke terminology that he was using just spoke to me of Meghan.
Yes, I mean, Meghan is most definitely writing his script. She's pumped his brain full of that. But what interested me there, ladies, it was Arthur Edwards pointing to the Duke of Windsor. But the other example is of course, Princess Diana, who absolutely went for Charles. I mean, she was a woman scorned when it came to Charles. No one can deny that for a single second. But never once questioned the institution of monarchy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's so sad is that he's definitely playing the mom card in every single award ceremony he goes to, every red carpet. He's always talking about his mom, his mom, his mom. That his mom would not be happy with him right now. You know, I mean, she would be laying down the law. That's for sure. I think Prince Harry takes advantage of these interviews because he knows that his dad and his brother can't say anything back.
Yeah.
It's a very good way. It'd be like me arguing with Nancy and knowing she can't say anything back to me. Well, that'd be a fun argument because I would win every time. That's what here in his mind. And Meghan is brainwashing Harry. She is pumping him full of all this stuff. They don't like you. They want you. They don't want you to have security. Your dad doesn't love you. His favorite is William. All this,
But maybe down the line, she's having him be the person to say all this so she can later say, well, I never had a problem with his family. It was always him. He was the one that wanted to go to court. Well, he was the one that wanted to do this. I wanted him to make up with his dad.
Well, what's interesting too is during the Oprah interview, when they talked about the skin tone, Oprah said, so they had a conversation with you, Meghan? And then Meghan said, no, they talked to Harry.
Yeah. She knows how to cover
that was
her.
She knows how to cover herself, Dan.
Totally. That was the most shameless moment, actually. But the thing is, what Harry doesn't realize is it's like we've seen these moments. We saw the horror on his face in that moment. Like, oh shit, she's just gone there. Just like we saw the horror in his face when she did the mocking curtsy about our late great Queen Elizabeth. Just like we saw the horror in his face when they turn up at the Time 100 event and she just pushes past him like he's a piece of dirt rather than a member of the British royal family. So we've definitely seen those moments, but the problem is he will find reasons to excuse himself for it, won't we? Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.